easy for almost anybody to listen to you because you're like, oh, this guy seems like, not only is he eloquent, but he's animated and he's making it entertaining too. Which I think is important. But yeah, just learning about the sexual blackmail, that was actually towards the end of last year. As with the Epstein thing, I just couldn't stop reading about it, man. And it took me like weeks to process because I was like, I just kept thinking about it. I was like, dude, that is so messed up. And it just, I don't know. It's weird because like I've been doing this thing recently where I like see people, whoever, an old man or, the big ripped guy or the beautiful girl. And I just, for a second, I think about them when they were children, and I'm just like, man, it's so weird. All those people used to be innocent children and now they're just evil.
Yeah. It's a dark, oh man, the sexual blackmail component of it is, like anything, it's there and they use it because it's really effective. It's like false flags. People are like, what's a false flag? Once you learn what a false flag is and you go, well, they do this to us. And you're like, oh yeah, they do this to us because it works. And so
can you explain that term, Charlie? I actually am not familiar with that.
False flag.
Yeah.
False flag is, think of the old the pirate ships. So a pirate ship is out in the ocean and they want to take over they see another ship coming and it's flying, say, the Dutch flag. And they go, oh, that's a Dutch ship over there. They probably have good spices on there. We're going to rob them. So what they do in their pirate ship is they put up the Dutch flag as well. And so that'll allow them to get close enough to the person. And as soon as they get close enough to that ship, the ship realizes they're not Dutch like us. They drop the flag, I don't know if they actually put up the skull and bones.
Do they wait and then do it and then jump, or do they just jump?
I think maybe they just jump. I don't know. It depends on if the movie cameras are there to film it or not. But but they would just, so it was, or that's kind of where the origin of it came from. But you think back to World War II when they, to kick off of World War II, they said, oh, the Polish army attacked the Germans. And
they claimed it was like a radio station or something.
Yeah. But it was just Germans dressed up as Poles,
just going into Poland.
Right. And then they say, oh, the Polish attacked us. See, now we have the reason to go in there and attack them. So that's a false flag attack. And that is what's kicked off every single major war that over the last at least 100 years. World War I, II, Vietnam, both Gulf Wars, all of it, all was started by false flags. So that's how things get kicked off. That's, these topics are dark, obviously the sexual blackmail thing is dark. And once you start to learn about it, then what you realize is that, it's been around for a long, long time. Jeffrey Epstein and those guys that they didn't invented.
He's been in power since like the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been doing that. Maybe, man, who knows?
What do you think? Just as a little exercise.
So, so my initial thought, and it's funny because it ties back into Sean Atwood as well. My initial thought, first of all, I'm in the camp with everybody else. He did not kill himself. Okay. We don't think that, but so it's between, was he murdered and did they sneak him out? Initially I thought they snuck him out. And the reason why I thought that is because, now I understand that wouldn't happen for anybody else. But in this guy's particular case, he had access to powerful people. He had information that powerful people wanted not talked about. There's lots of connections to the jails. There's funny looking images of the guy on the gurney being wheeled out and does his nose match, does his ears match, and things like that. So I initially went down that route of okay, they probably smuggled him out and replaced him with a dummy or did something. But then
you switched.
But I switched, and it came from a conversation with Sean Atwood about this. And what he was saying, in these operations, if a guy gets busted by the feds and then is getting interrogated and is working with the feds, there is no reason why this organization above Jeffrey Epstein would incentivize or show anybody else that will take you out, will pull you out of harm's way, give you plastic surgery, take you to Israel and, hide you there. because by doing that, they would then send the message to anybody else that if they talk, it's okay, we'll bail you out, we'll come and get you. He said that what would really happen is if you're a guy in Jeffrey Epstein's situation with all this information and you get arrested by the feds and you start talking, you're dead.
Yeah.
And that is to send the message to anybody else. You talk, you die. So
I thought about it from the way that I can't remember who I heard it from. It might have been Sean, because I mean Sean understands these things better than anyone. But they said basically, what would be the easiest thing to do? Like, do you know how hard that would be to sneak somebody out? The easiest thing to do would be just to kill him. Not to mention the fact that they're trying to send a message, you know. But the fact that they did do that just shows me that. I mean, to me, the way he behaved, it seemed like he thought he was going to be. He thought he was invincible, you know.
Yeah,
so it shows me that
I would have felt that way too if I was him.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows me that that's not actually true, and somebody, maybe there was some duplicity that he maybe fell for, or maybe he didn't know that he didn't have all the cards that he did.
Yeah, see,
which is like why, like, maybe Ghislaine Maxwell actually was, you know, she was the queen on the chessboard. Really, she's actually more powerful.
I think so too. Yeah, and I think that it's hard to run a secret child blackmail sexual entrapment operation when everybody knows that you're running a secret child blackmail sexual entrapment operation. So it doesn't really do any. He had no value at that point.
Yeah,
and these are not guys that tend to
be sentimental
and keep someone around just because they've been a good soldier. So I think that it's more likely that that he was murdered, but I can't fully rule out the possibility of him being removed, only because, and I would rule that out with just about everybody else. But if this one guy did have the best connections, and he had a lot of people with a vested interest in keeping this guy either quiet or happy, or definitely quiet, but maybe even happy. So if we could remove him from this situation, then it's almost assured that he won't talk about the stuff that we've done together, or, you know, the information yet. But then again, the simplest answer is just whack him, you know,